I started with InEight technically as a user of the InEight products back in 2011-ish. So a little over a decade now using this software in some capacity. And then after a few years of being a user and a trainer and someone who kind of rolled out the solution to the company I worked for, came over to InEight to help drive new product enhancements and the cloud evolution that took place in 2015 through 2017. So was a part of that rebuild. Once we launched, they determined that they needed folks to show it to customers, to show how it worked, and so some of us transitioned out of the product side into what we call solutions engineering or sales engineering. I was one of those, and have just kind of worked my way up since then in that organization over the last few years. I didn't always think about construction, especially when I was younger. You know, every kid wanted to be an athlete or a superhero or, a firefighter. We all wanted to be one of those types of crazy things. But one of the things that I did always enjoy as a kid was Legos. And so I was building Legos from a really early age. I threw the instructions away on most of my sets after the first build and recreated my own thing. And as I kind of transitioned into high school, I started doing a lot of sketching of things like stadiums, arenas, that sort of thing, and realized that kind of that idea, that creativity of drawing, designing, building things like stadiums and buildings and vehicles and such could translate into a role in construction. So that's where I started to think about construction and or engineering. My first construction job I was an intern ish. It was in high school. My role for a company was to take their they had an entire warehouse, multiple thousand square feet, racks to the ceiling of just bankers boxes of drawings. And they were all old projects, right? And my job was to go get a box, bring it back to the office, scan everything into a file, name that file the job, right? Go take that box back to the warehouse, get the next one. And I just did that every day, 5 days a week for an entire summer. That was my first job. So it was really a step into construction technology, right? Like the goal there was to start digitizing their records. And so that was like my first glimpse of, hey, construction's a little behind. Maybe, just maybe, there's going to be some changes to this in the future. From there, I still wasn't entirely sure that construction was what I wanted to do, right? So I actually went to college to be a math teacher, and my goal was to coach. I wanted to coach basketball, but very quickly, right behind me came my high school sweetheart, who also wanted to be a teacher. And being a math guy, that didn't, quantify into two incomes that would be a ton of fun, down the line. So that's when I started to look at, what can you do with a math degree that's not teach? And engineering was right at the top of that. And so that's how it started to translate over into a construction type role. And so I started taking more physics courses and then looking at construction engineering as a master's, and got my foot in the door with Kiewit as an intern. And that really that's what really accelerated the idea of construction being a career. Getting to walk some of those job sites as an intern was just eye-opening. And so we visited mega projects like the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, and it was so cool to see how they put those items together and what it took to coordinate that from just a team aspect. It was really eye-opening. For me, what I'm most passionate about in the industry is that change, right? So from that early age, or that first internship, technology has always been a big part of the way that I've interacted with construction. So that first one, it was digitizing those plans and trying to get their records into a system. When I came out of college, I was handed the first license of an on-screen takeoff solution that our company had purchased, and I was supposed to be the first one to kind of go from digitizing and coloring plans up to do takeoff for estimating, to utilizing this on computer solution, and so technology is in that shift to doing things more efficiently has always been part of something that I've done, and that's what gets me out of the bed every day is there are still people doing things the old way in the construction industry, right? They're somewhat slow to adopt technology, or there's a ton of technology out there and they're having struggles integrating those and getting benefits out of the data. And so what I love every day is showing people how they can do so much more with less, utilizing integrated and connected technology. They can have one button push, send an item to 12 departments, whereas before it was a piece of paper that you had to pass around the office. And so those are the types of things that excite me every single day. Something we face a lot, right? The construction industry is seeing a pretty significant labor shortage of late, and so we're always wondering what can we do to get folks excited about or interested in construction. And if you are at all creative in any way, shape, or form, construction is a lot of fun, right? You get to go out and build some of the world's most unique projects. You get to create facilities that are going to be enjoyed by thousands, if not millions, of people throughout their lifespan. I mean, if you think about some of the projects that you attend events at, or places that you fly in and out of, right, or roads that you drive on, someone built that, and there's a lot of pride in pointing at one of those projects as you drive by with your family and saying, I did that. I was a part of that. I got to do this, that, or the other thing. And so there's an incredible amount of value in being a part of the industry. But to your point, you don't have to be a math person like me to be excited about that. You don't have to be an engineer. You don't have to be a construction guru. You could be a pilot. You could be a data scientist. You could be a marketing guru, right? Like those are all roles within construction that people don't even realize are there with the technology that's available, and with the way that the industry is changing, right? Like even social media experts are becoming people in construction because we need the influence just like anyone else to gain customers, or to gain that credibility or that visibility in the world, that we can build your next big thing, right? And so that's it's crazy how the industry has changed, and how it's not just for like a math geek or an engineer or someone that you think has, funny glasses with tape and a pocket protector, right? That's what we used to always think of when we thought of engineers. That's not that way anymore.